Brought to you by limctv.com and myspasuccess.com.
Our next restaurant is Flo's, located on Thompson Peak Parkway, just east of Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale.
The Chinese restaurant with a little twist. We have Chinese food, Szechuan's food, and we have a little bit Thai too.
I go travel around Asia. That I go around to try it and then get a recipe from them.
One of the signature is the soup, hot and sour soup, and the dishes will be pan of shrimp, spicy tofu, tri-scope pork.
We create a few dishes very specialty, like cinnamon shrimp and calamari and pineapple shrimp. That kind of stuff we create a specialty from different from other restaurants.
So the bar is famous for our happy hour. A lot of people like to sit at the bar and have the happy hour, but the happy hour is for the whole restaurant.
Because we cook every dishes, any customer request they want a gluten-free and low sodium, anything, and mild spicy, we can do that for them.
We had chocolate wonton, banana spring roll, and a mousse cake. We fresh make everything. When you order, we made it, and we use all the fresh ingredients. The taste is really different.
Ken, this is your choice, and restaurant out in my neck of the woods. What led you to choose this particular one?
I love Flo's. I like Chinese food, and the thing I enjoy about Flo's is they've taken Chinese food to the next level. They've taken it and they've injected American cuisine into it. I'm a creature of habit, and one of my favorites out there is, they call it twice cooked pork, but it's really jalapeno pork and bacon, which is just outstanding.
We walked in, we were greeted right away. There was someone waiting at the door, seated immediately. They brought water immediately. They brought fried wontons out and some edamame. I felt really comfortable right away, and it was really clean, which I like in a restaurant too, and bright and lots of windows. It was I had lunch there, and I mean, it was a great place to have lunch.
I had a little bit of a different experience. The sun was going down and they sat me in the corner, and it was super hot because there's a lot of windows. But it's beautiful when you walk into the restaurant. It's very minimalistically decorated, and it's very beautiful.
It's got a modern decor to it, kind of very, as she said, very minimalistic. It's got a few pictures, but the tables and chairs are very, very modern, so to speak. It's a lot of the metal. The floor is just concrete, but it's been coated. And then they don't really have a ceiling, so to speak. They've painted the ceiling, and they don't have a suspended ceiling or any kind of covering over that.
But there were some flowers out and stuff. It was simple. I'm glad I don't remember it because I feel like they did a good job. I mean, they just made it was just nice. I could focus on, there wasn't too much going on.
So
it wasn't busy.
Nothing taken away from the food and service?
Nothing.
So let's talk about food. Natalie, what was your appetizer? What did you start off with?
I started off with the calamari and absolutely loved it. It was unbelievable. It was a little touch on the salty side, but I absolutely loved it. The breading on it is unbelievable.
I had the same exact thing that she did, and yeah, I thought the breading was really light. It was different than other calamari I'd had, and on the menu it's like calamari and chilies. I thought there was a good amount of sautéed chilies and stuff on it too, and I love spicy, so I appreciated the sauce.
I had the crab puffs, and they had the sweet and sour sauce on the side, and the pastry on them are very light, very fluffy, done very well, very tasty, and they've got a nice order. There's like 6 of them when they serve them to you.
I loved the cinnamon shrimp. I thought it was great. I'd never seen that on a menu. I was kind of looking for something I hadn't had. I ordered extra spicy, and I didn't feel like it was that spicy. It was an interesting thing I'd never seen on a Chinese. There were a lot of things on that menu I hadn't seen, so I think I didn't know that it was sort of an American fusion, or that's what they were shooting for.
Well, whenever I go for Chinese food, I always get mapo tofu. And so I got that same thing when I went to Flo's, and it was unbelievable. It's very spicy, which I love, and the tofu was nice and firm, so it was great. The portions are huge.
So you can obviously take some home with you? And
Yeah, I had lunch the next day and then the day after too.
and still delicious.
Absolutely delicious. Even better the second day.
I went for the catfish with the red chili sauce, and it was unbelievably good. Just incredible. I mean, I'm from the Midwest, and I've had catfish before. I've caught them and cooked them, and sometimes you get catfish and they have a tendency to be these really thin fillets. Mm-hmm. These are good thick fillets of catfish, and they were breaded just absolutely perfectly with this red chili sauce over the top of it. And they serve you, and when they serve it to you, it comes on a platter. It's probably about this big, and they've got 3 of these fillets on there. So it's more than enough food for one person.
My friend had got that too, and I tried it. I was surprised how moist it was. And I'm from the Midwest as well, and I love catfish. And I actually was catfishing the day before that, so I was kind of excited when she ordered it. But I'm always a little leery once the fillets get a little bit bigger. You know, sometimes they can get muddy and murky, but I didn't think that was at all. And I was surprised how moist it was.
It was moist and flaky.
So did you all have try any desserts?
I went with the triple mousse, which I never really ordered dessert, but I was still a little hungry, so I figured I'd try it. I thought it was really good. It seemed odd in an Asian restaurant to be having a triple mousse, but it was.
It worked.
It worked. It was tasty. It was a nice end of the meal.
I had it was an egg roll stuffed with banana with a chocolate dipping sauce, and that was unbelievable. The crunchy.
It was fried, obviously.
Yes, the crunchy and the sweet. It was just delicious. I loved the food. I did not love the service, and the only problem is it was happy hour. They have a wonderful happy hour, but we waited very long for the other diner that I was with waited very long for his drink, and then we also waited for my other diner's food. So I sat there, and my food was getting cold for about 10 minutes before his food came out. But the food, when it did come, was delicious.
It's delicious.
The menu there is huge too, so there's definitely something for everyone. You know, I mean, I don't think you're going to get a real taste of traditional Chinese food there, but it's really good food. And I mean, there's hundreds of things on that menu, I think.
Yeah.
If you would like to try Flo's, reservations are accepted, and the average tab for dinner without drinks is $25. That's it for another show. Don't forget to visit our website.
Brought to you by limctv.com and myspasuccess.com.